So in this lesson, we're going to look at decimal place value just as a review. So first, let's remember that the number to the left and to the right have different meanings, okay, when we're looking and comparing them to the decimal point. So remember, the first number that's on the left means ones. I have 3 ones in this number. And this number here is tens place. This is a hundreds place. So this number 423 would be pronounced 423. Thousands place and 10 thousandths place. So this number on the left of the decimal point, if I was pronouncing it, would be 68,423. When we're pronouncing numbers with decimals, we go ahead and remember we pronounce the decimal point and. And each one represents a fraction of 1. So the first number represents 1/10. The second means 1 out of 100. And the third one means out of 1,000. And then out of 10,000 is this next one. So by adding the THS, we get tenths, hundreds, thousandths, 5,000. So remember, there's like no oneths place. And the reason we need to make sure we know that is because when we're using rounding of decimal values, we want to make sure we're rounding to the correct decimal place. So let's look at these examples. So if I want to round to the nearest tens place, I need to know where's the tens place. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is okay, so 1 to the left is tenths. So here's the tens place. In this next one, I went to the nearest whole number, which means the ones place. Round to nearest hundredth, it has that little TH there, means I want the hundredths place, which means 2 to the right. Round to nearest 10, no THS at the end, means I want the tens place, which is where that 3 is. Okay, so there's a little mnemonic device, or not mnemonic device, sorry, a little way to help you remember, and that's this little phrase that I've heard people say before. 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or below, let it go. So it just means if the digit that you're looking at to the right of the place value is 4, 3, 2, 1, or 0, you just drop all the decimal values to the right of that digit. If the digit to the immediate right is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, we increase that digit by 1, drop the rest. So if I wanted to round this number to the nearest tens place, then I would go ahead and, after identifying the tens place, look to the right, and it meets the criteria 4 or below. So that means I just simply drop 432 and 8/10. Okay, so if I wanted to round this one to the nearest whole number, I identify where I want to go. That means it's the ones place. And I look to the right. It meets the criteria of 5 or more, raise the score. So that means I'm going to round it to 433. Round to the nearest hundredth. Remember, we had said that meant 2 digits to the right. So we were here at 4. I look to the right, and that meets the criteria of 5 or more. So it's going to be 432 and 85 hundredths. So if I was going to round to nearest tens place, because now I'm rounding at the whole number part, I don't just drop everything after the tens place. I actually fill it in with a 0 because I need those numbers. So I look to the right of the 3 because the 3 is in the tens place. The 2 meets the criteria of 4 or below. So I'm going to go ahead and 2 is going to drop to 0 and gives me 430. It's not wrong to change everything else to a 0, but it's just not necessary, so we don't. Okay, so that was a really quick review of decimal place values, and rounding.